Open tournament is about to begin with the first match between WillardJBradley and Sid.
And it looks like they're off. Sid opting to go to Link's house to find the bloomerang, and Willard picking up the lamp.
Interesting lamp location right there, and Sid getting the boomerang, which does him no good, but if he does get a weapon, he can go ahead and find out what the stun prize pack is. So we're not going to have to worry too much about dark rooms, but we do get a map check, and red pendant at the desert. Number 5 is at Hera.
Yeah. It looks like Willard will be opting to kill one of the guards over here in order to check the tree. And
arrows at the uncle.
What a find.
Oh, nice tree pull. 80 rupees for the tier 1. And Sid getting bombs in the chest.
Yeah, that's definitely a nice find, because they're going to need a lot of bombs come Kakariko.
Well, that means they don't really have to worry too much more about trying to get some arsenal. They can go ahead and just get these 80 rupees. And Sydarial now heading over to the sanctuary. We'll find his lamp in just a moment. The seed feels kind to these runners so far. So what's the catch?
Something on pedestal. Oh gosh.
Commentator's curse.
I would say it's a blessing.
Commentator's blessing.
So it looks like we're going to get our first lumberjack check up here as well. And it looks like both players are following pretty much the same route.
Oh, Willard's going to check the stun prize pack. Oh, stun prize pack is 20 rupees as well. This is a rich seed.
Oh, and rupees from the hoarder as well, so...
I don't think we're gonna have any problems with money at this point. And
the flute!
Oh, is that the flute?
That's
yes!
The flute! Oh my gosh! Interesting. That might be an Aghanim required seed, depending upon where they find, or what the Misery Mire crystal is.
Well, with one pendant in the light world, you have a 2 in 7 chance of definitely not requiring it, but that doesn't take into account for access up to Death Mountain as well as any other possible thing that would make you have to use the flute.
Yeah, if they can't find gloves.
Moon Pearl.
And the Moon Pearl. But yeah, if they can't find the gloves to get up Death Mountain, then they're definitely going to need that flute.
This seed has quite a stench to it at this point.
It stinks of Aghanim.
And Willard trying to pull the tree did not get a kill, and I think Sid was trying to set up for another kill, so another tree tug, but the bird done ran away. So WillardJBradley is using an interesting sprite for this day.
Garfield,
who hates Mondays.
All right, so we're gonna see what's in Blind's house here. Here's hoping for something good.
Our container, her piece of heart,
It's
money,
red. Ooh,
single
arrow.
We are valid.
And more arrows.
That's 11 arrows in that cave. So we got silver arrows, we got a boomerang, we got a lantern, we got a moon pearl. Nothing as far as a stable weapon is as far as we're concerned at this point.
Nope, but they could pick up Master Sword, or well, first of course Fighter Sword. But if they pick up Master Sword, I'm guessing definitely Aghanim required at that point.
More money. At this point, we're 2 chests away from them having to do that. Either it be via the sword and cape or the 2 sword upgrades.
It looks like they got the bottle so they can check Sick Kid while they're here.
Always nice to find the bottle while you're in Kakariko Village. Let's see what the vendor has.
Oh, the
that's
swindler is more
rejection.
like it. Yeah.
Somebody report him to the Better Business Bureau, please.
Are we gonna see a chicken clip? Ooh.
Willard missed the chicken clip. I like what Sid's doing here to save himself some money, but obviously money is going to be no object this seed. But he's going to go into the bombable hut here to farm some bombs.
So we're gonna see a Sick Kid visit. Maybe Sick Kid has some bombs.
That'd be nice for Willard if he does. Nope,
Oh, nope.
love.
Sick Kid just giving out some love.
And Willard now heading over to the tavern to get 20 more rupees because he's going to be probably making a stop at a shop to the left.
Yeah, this town has been really a bust. They haven't really gotten anything from here. Moon Pearl was in Lost Woods, and pretty much everything else was outside of town.
I've not seen a Kakariko Village this unstocked in a while. Usually in Kakariko Village, you get one item that gives you a direction where to go.
Well, the direction they need to go is to find those boots, because Kana Samari is in the library.
Baby. And that is almost guaranteed to be needed at this point because of the fact that if you have 2 dungeons in the Dark World being pendants, you got to get lucky and have Misery Mire and Turtle Rock be your dungeons.
Yeah, and you also would need it not to be right side Ganon's tower.
That is correct. Wouldn't that be something, though?
Yeah, if you had, oh my gosh, if you had to find the boots in Ganon's tower to leave, go back and get the Canis Samaria just to do right side, wouldn't that be awful?
That would be horrendous.
Oh, there's that
Hey!
cave.
So we're now 1 item away from a possible Aghanim visit.
Might be a soggy sword.
Rusty sword would be. But then again, can plastic really rust?
Well, it's just a blue rupee.
Sid giving us the map check once again to confirm what we had found out earlier about the Tower of Hera and Desert Palace and Eastern Palace. It's good time to kill some mini Moldorms, you say?
We'll see some bomb strats here, because that's pretty much the only option that they have for killing these mini Moldorms.
Don't drop your bombs
Ooh,
down. Oh, that's
nice.
a nice pickup right there.
Absolutely.
Nice toss on that final one. I didn't think he had him.
Oh,
Fire Rod!
There's at least something.
Semi-stable weapon.
Just the fire rod. Not a lot of magic, but Willard will at least be able to go into, and soon Sydarial as well will be able to go into the Hyrule Castle and at least kill some enemies.
Yeah, that's probably the most important thing about getting that fire rod is that it does work as a weapon that can kill the guards. Oh, that's a nice double kill right there, and a nice 8 drop there for Sid as well. And I'm surprised that Sid didn't decide to go with the blue boomerang to grab that 8 bomb pack. Probably forgot that he had it at that point.
So we're about to see an Ice Rod Cave check.
I like this play here from Willard. There's some times when this cave can have something important. Does it have something important this time?
Oh, I was just gonna say the boots! Oh boy. What a thing to find!
What are those to find in the frosty ice chest? So now that makes the Kana Samaria accessible. Well, they're trying to set up fake flippers.
makes the Canis Samaria accessible, and then if they could find
Ooh, Sid's got to be careful with the crabs here, down to 2 hearts.
So we're going to see the Waterfall Fairy check. Sydarial also picking up his boots. So bombs and hearts. So nothing yet that's benefited him. And Willard, unfortunately, doesn't have the 500 rupees needed yet for Zora, so potentially may need to come back. But he does at least have the ability to see what's on the ledge, which is just 300
rupees.
Oh, no, that would have been perfect for him before.
Sid is making the play I was wondering if he was going to make next, and let's head on over to Sriracha. Let's see what's the 3 chests behind him, and then head on into the Eastern Palace.
Willard looks like he's not far behind either.
Green Pendant Dark Palace.
Oh, interesting.
And Sid's name is Pod Please Skip or something like that.
Pod not required.
Hey, Ether. And by the way, that does officially make it that the Canis Samaria will be required.
Yep, because we have Desert as one of our pendants, so...
And we're getting that same intel right now from Sriracha. And the thing is also that now makes it a 1 in 7 chance that you do not need to go to Aghanim. That's very bad odds right now.
Yeah, I guess in order to do that, all they're looking for is a sword. With the fire rod, it actually makes Aghanim's tower not too bad. As long as you have enough magic. At the moment, they're both sitting with fairly low magic.
But don't forget, they picked up some green goo in a bottle earlier.
That is true. So we had a question, why is Meyer required? Because currently our red pendants are, or our pendants are Pod and
Desert and Pod.
Desert and Pod. So there's a 1 in 7 chance that Meyer is required.
Red Ring. So with those 2 being pendants, that does eliminate it down to what is actually a 1 in 7 chance that Meyer will not be required. Those are bad odds to take at this point. Samaria is guaranteed to be required because both Turtle Rock and Misery Mire needs it, and we know that one of them is going to have to be a crystal, at the very least.
Ooh,
Power Glove!
So, Flute not needed for Death Mountain access. Are we going to see a vanilla bow? No, just a burrito.
So if I'm Willard or Sid right now, I'm going to take that Power Glove and bring the old man up the mountain. Because there's something regarding a dark... There's something about a dark room this Seed is screaming them to go visit. And obviously Aghanim is a possibility right now.
Yeah, or there could be something really interesting in this chest coming up right here. There we go. Nope,
Bombs.
just bombs.
Well, safely to say, Sakura, that bombed.
So we have the power gloves now. We're going to be able to check the backside of the escape. And Willard looks like he's going to be going to Hyrule Castle instead.
2 different strategies. I like them both. Sid, heart container, hammer! Guess what?
It's hammer time.
It's hammer time, and that also opens up Dark World.
Yeah, with Moon Pearl gloves and hammer, he's all set.
And guess where he's going to go first? Can we get some hype? Sakura, we haven't had a lot of hype in this Dark World hype cave in a while. Can we get some hype this time?
I would like some hype.
Can we really get some hype? Well, first
What do you
I'd like
think
to
could
see
be there? Mirror would be nice there. Bow would be nice there. We'll just get all 4 items in here.
Guaranteed Aghanim required. Myra's number 6.
All right, here we go for the hype cave.
All right, hype time. Piece of heart. So far, nothing.
So far, no hype. Come on. Half
Nice.
magic. Okay, not bad, not bad. Come on, give us some more hype. Oh, no.
Oh.
That was not the hype I was expecting.
Sorry, we're fresh out of hype this round, Sakura.
Well, we're gonna get a little bit more access over here. We might go visit Stumpy and Digging Game.
So as pointed out, we are guaranteed an Aghanim required seed because Misery Mire turned out to be a crystal, so we are going to have to go see that journey at some point. Thieves Town was the other part of that it was the other pendant.
Interesting. I never liked seeing Thieves Town as a pendant, I can tell you that for sure. There's so many items in there, it's almost always better to just go in there.
Okay, Willard, I was are you going to save and quit or are you just going to die?
He's trying to get to the beginning. I think he was debating on whether or not he would check on that chest in the middle or just go straight from the back. Or maybe he's going to... Oh, is he going to go to Aghanim without a sword? I think he's going to be barely disappointed.
Oh no.
He's not going to be able to cut through the curtain. Willard, what are you doing?
Go back, Willard, go back.
Go back.
I understand that Garfield hates Mondays, but you don't have to showcase it for us.
I think he thinks he's got the fire rod so he can kill all the enemies on the way up here, but... Oh, Willard.
Please figure this out now, Willard.
Not when you get all the way up.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
Nah, he's not gonna remember. Oh, that's disappointing for him as Sydarial picked up his first sword here in the Bonk Rocks.
It's an interesting place for us, so Sid can go up and do Aghanim. He also got the shovel.
Yes, he saved and quit. He realized.
Saved.
Quite literally saved his run there. So, you know what's going to be funny is if he does do the Bonk Rocks after this, and then immediately finds the sword.
I believe Willard will be saying some redacted language at that point. I don't know why.
So there, Willard picks up his hammer, and Sydarial picked up his Cane of Samaria.
I was going to say, Willard, you don't have a key. Don't go through that door.
But that means that chest was guaranteed to be a key.
Yep, that one that was in the dark room is required to be a key at this point. Sid is going to go into the Dark World Thieves Town, Skullwoods area. He can beat Skullwoods, so we might see a check there first. And Willard, countdown to
Count down the
A Homer
sword.
Simpson reference. In about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
As he swings at the chest, those frustration slashes. Oh my gosh, English, please.
Shield!
Got our first shield now. So we're gonna see our old man check.
And Sid finding a sword in the
There.
Bumbleable Hut. So that's the Master Sword.
Very nice sword upgrade. Makes some bosses a bit easier in Fighter Sword. Ooh, some old man love. Just a little bit, though.
I don't think Willard really wanted that love right now.
Nah, probably not.
Nor did I think he really wanted to fall off that ledge. Sid is checking Pendant Thieves Town.
Yeah, not a bad idea in my opinion. I feel like Thieves Town dungeons specifically in this logic tend to have a lot more items than Overworld. So even if it's a pendant, checking it is actually a fairly decent idea.
Willard, getting the map checked, now knows that Aghanim is definitely required.
And he must be kicking himself in the butt right now.
Yeah, he's going to do Spike Cave while he's up here. I like this move.
He does have the cape, so he's going to be able to... Yep.
And so far, nothing out of Thieves Town. We've seen one of the items. It's 20 rupees. So we've got the key, we've got the map, and we got the big key out of the other 3.
And just 20 rupees for Spike Cave. So I think at this point, Willard's probably ideal place to go now is Dark World. Heading over to the Village of Outcasts would be the play that at least I would make.
Well, either that or knowing that Aghanim is required, I would make some consideration of doing that, but I do like the idea that he is going here. He will get his second sword upgrade, which will make Aghanim's tower a lot easier when he does finally decide to go up there.
The interesting thing is the seed is basically begging them to go to Misery Mire. That you get a medallion, you get the... Well, actually, no, they don't have Titan's Mitts yet, so they can't. So...
Well, the interesting thing is that Boots unlocked both the flute and the Cane of Samaria. So it's like, as you're pointing out, this seed is begging them to go up there.
Yeah, they're just missing those Titan's Mitts. And if those are easily accessible, then yeah, definitely feel like Misery Mire is a good place to go fairly early on based on where the seed is pointing.
We have seen 2 items out of Thieves Town. They've both been 20 rupees.
So, question in chat is someone's asking why would it still be Aghanim required? Because the Lumberjack's item is the flute, and you need the flute to access Misery Mire, and Misery Mire is a crystal in this seed. So they can't get that flute without defeating Aghanim, as the Lumberjacks only disappear once Aghanim is defeated.
That's not really what Sid wanted to find in that chest, the compass. That means he's going to make his way over to the big chest. And we got Bug catching that inside the hammer-blocked chest. Willard going Ether Strats, which I like. That's something I learned from GamerCal. It's a nice little strat. Saves yourself some magic. You don't have to use the fire rod, and that helps save it from Opula.
Those these enemies here is not giving Sid a very good time over here.
So we know the final item in this Thieves' Town will be on blind. What pun do we got? Broken pencils are pointless.
And Willard has already used his green potion, I believe, in order to access... Oh no, in order to access Aghanim's tower. So he's not going to have extra fire rod shots here for Mothula. But he's doing a really good job so far with what he has.
I like the strategy he's employing. Mothula's getting a good setup. That's a beautiful blind fight for Sid. A heart and a half was dangerous. Hook shot!
Oh, and the hook shot! Oh wow, that was very good. That was a very good item.
Thieves' Town. Willard's being patient with this Mothula. It's a good thing. If you go in too aggressively, you're gonna lose this fight. And that's why he's gonna win this fight. Mothula will have the map.
Ugh.
I feel the same way.
Buggy burrito.
Chad's saying I've had questionable phrasing. I'm all about the questionable phrasing. Haven't you heard enough of me? That's why they put us two together. We're both the king and queen of questionable phrasings.
Yeah. There's been some times I could have used the questionable phrasing, but I have refrained at the moment.
At the moment, she says. The asterisks on the dungeons are pertaining to the ones that unlock additional items. For example, the crystal ones are the ones that would unlock the pyramid bomb that gets you into the double-chested fairy. The pendant is the green pendant that gets you the Shirashalas item.
No mirror, no book to check the pedestal at this point, so it's still questionable on whether or not there's anything there. With Pod being a pendant, can't be the bow. I'm trying to think of anything else that could even possibly be.
That's the only thing. That's the only thing we can eliminate right now. Is the bow.
It can't be mirror. Oh wait, no, it can be mirror. Cause yep, yeah, it can be.
It can't be the mirror if we can't find where the book is.
That's true.
Arrow upgrade for Willard. Not what he wanted to find. Sid's going to try to bomb jump his way to the big chest, and didn't like where that bomb was. I have no idea what that play was about. Sid's giving up on the play, gonna go do this the conventional way.
The old-fashioned dropping bomb. Ooh. Willard trying to bounce there. Ooh, and it's just a piece of heart. Unfortunately, not what he's looking for.
This stretch of Skull Woods, the in-between dungeon, always scares me because if you end up dying, you go all the way back to the start. Now, obviously, they didn't finish Aghanim, so they go back to the Light World. It's a pain to get back. It's lost time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Sydarial having the Cane of Samaria makes that room a little bit easier, so...
And that's both items there for Sydarial, and now he's going to death abuse his way to the start of that section, and we'll head over to Mothula to try to get his first crystal of this game. So Willard is probably going to do the Village of Outcasts in Thieves' Town next. I don't see any reason why he wouldn't.
Oh, interestingly, yeah, the pedestal could actually be the Titansmiths.
Oh, wouldn't that be something? And we have no way of finding out about it.
Not yet.
So Willard gave us a check of the bumper cave. Turns out just to be a piece of heart, and he has absolutely no interest of going to grab that. So if he goes to the village of Outcast, and again, he will likely check the Thieves' Town. And because of the way the items were arranged in this dungeon, it's begging you to go deep. And hopefully he will do that himself. Oh, what are you giggling at?
Sorry, nothing. I've nothing.
That's a whole lot of nothing.
Couldn't help it. It was funny. Oh, and it looks like Willard is heading into Thieves' Town.
We're being called perverts. And Willard getting the Master Sword, Sid going up against Mothula.
Yeah, I bet Willard wishes that he had checked that before going to Mothula.
I agree. And Sid's going to have half magic. Plus, he still has the green goo in a bottle, so this should be less of a problematic of a fight. If he really gets into trouble, he does have the magic cape. And Mothula down. I don't think he got hit at all. 5 hearts remaining.
I wonder if Willard is going to just check these 4 chests, or if he's going to continue through the whole dungeon, because some people just opt to grab the first 4 chests in here because they're really quick and then leave if it's a pendant dungeon.
Because it only gives you 1 item in the first 4, I bet Willard is going to be feeling like he has to explore this even deeper. It's time to find out the answer, though.
Yeah, and Sydarial is heading back through Skullwoods instead of opting to save and quit. So I'm wondering now where he's deciding to go.
I'm betting he is going to try to look at the bumper cave while he's up this way.
Yeah, that's not a bad choice.
Yeah, gonna check bumper cave, see if that is anything of importance, and it turns out in this case it is a piece of heart. Time to save and quit, and Sid, I would bet at this point it's time to climb the mountain.
Yeah, especially with hookshot.
Is Sid gonna make the play for Aghanim now? That's it. Now, Sid, I don't think did the escape portion, so he'll also be doing that. But this is a good time to do the escape and then head on over to Aghanim afterwards, because you have to do it at some point in time. It's the flute.
Yeah, this is actually really good routing on his part, because he's able to just death warp in the dungeon and then go back up to Aghanim. And he has the bug net, so he can do Swaganim.
We all love Swaganim.
So we're seeing Sydarial go through Hyrule Castle, which Willard has done, and Willard cleaning up Thieves' Town, which Sydarial has done. So we'll be fairly close together again. The only difference is if Sydarial is going to be able to head right up to Aghanim, whereas Willard will have to save and quit and then go over there if he decides that he wants to do that next.
So Sydarial getting ready to do what we saw from Willard. He's not going to get anything important here, but it's good to get out of the way while you're in this vicinity. Willard is now knowing that Blind is going to have an item, and he already checked the big chest, so he already grabbed that. And
Sydarial killed the green guard, so how is he going to death warp?
He's going to bomb himself.
Ah, okay. Well, there wasn't a piece of heart here. Okay, good. Seen that too many times already in this tournament.
I believe you're on commentary for one of those.
Both of them.
Just like I was on commentary for a run where runner ended up death abusing when they had a fairy in a bottle. So
3 hits to each of Blind's head. will move it to the next phase. Only 3 hits remaining. And Willard's doing a really good job of not getting hit.
Yeah, Willard's showing off his NMG practice in regards to that blind fight. That is a beautiful fight. He does get the hook shot, likely to go up the mountain soon. One of these two is going to be going up the mountain soon. I know that for a fact. There's a lot of treasures up there, plus that gets you into Hera.
Yeah, absolutely. With hammer and hookshot, easy way to Hera. But is he going to do
I don't
the rest
think
of the overworld stuff yet?
Yeah, he hasn't done Digging Game. He has also not done the Hype Cave yet, as you can see by him not having half magic.
So I don't think we saw the Digging Game from Sydarial.
Sydarial did go to this, but I did not see what the prize was, but apparently it wasn't anything important. I do notice that he did have Sydarial does have a shovel. Maybe that's what the prize was. And yep, you're digging up a shovel from the Digging Game.
It's a lot of digs.
Yeah, 27 digs, they're saying. There it is. And that's kind of an interesting prize. You're getting what? You're the past contestant's shovel? Now, I don't think Sid checked to see what the shovel yields. So Willard's going to find that information for us at some point in time. Willard probably wishes he had the mirror to make this a perfect drought.
And we're seeing very nice strats here from Sydarial through the Aghanim's Tower. So not very many rooms left. It's a little bit of a long stretch of time to put into something. So if you don't need Aghanim normally, something you don't often see.
I've seen it way too much lately. Way too much. Anyways, as Sydarial gets ready to go up against Aghanim, there's something that we normally do in the guessing game with the chat. Aghanim's going to throw some blue balls around. We don't like those blue balls because they waste time. But it's fun for you guys because you get to pick a number between 0 and usually up to 15. How many blue balls you think Aghanim's going to throw at our runners? Sakura, what's your guess?
2.
I'm going to go one more evil than that. 3.
I think it'll be fairly blue ball-less.
Well, let's hope so for Sid's sake and also for Willard because he's going to have to go up against the same fight later on. First 2 cycles, no blue balls. Third, no blue balls.
Still no blue balls, yeah. I don't know. I think we're on the right track here.
4, no.
Still no.
And that means 5's going to be no as well. And just love underneath the dig spot. So once again, this is guaranteed to be 5. We are still at 0. Can we go for the perfect? That's a perfect!
Nice.
6
0.
for 6! I almost want to say that's the first time we've seen that in the tournament.
And what's on the pyramid ledge? It is just bombs.
Bam, 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 bam. Wow. But the more important thing is that Sid... Not yet. Sid is going to not have the ability to go grab the fluid due time, but we're going to go check Catfish first. Willard did make the path up to Aghanim earlier, but found out he could not do Aghanim without a sword. Thankfully, he found that out before he got up to the 7th floor.
So, East Death Mountain. Wonder what this is gonna yield for us. We're still looking for Titan's Mitch. And that will be nice, actually, for him to find on Death Mountain, because he won't have to make a second trip up here. He's already done the Spike Cave. So, if he can find Titan's Mitch, then do Tower of Hera, and then go back down. Well,
Flippers! And that eliminates one of the possibilities that could be on the pedestal. All right, Paradox Cave with the 5 of the mini Moldorms. Something about 3 swords being in this in a particular race I was involved with last night.
Oh
That's
boy.
quite the interesting cave. And half magic too. This time it's the Piece of Heart cave.
So we'll probably see Willard head over to Tower of Hera before going into the Spiral Cave, just in case he finds Titansmith.
Yeah, it's the perfect routing to do so, because then you can do Spiral Cave afterwards. Otherwise, you'd have to just go right back up the mountain. Sid getting the flute. It's going to help for transportation purposes.
And just looks like a piece of heart on that island.
Yeah, nothing required.
So no book to check either pedestal either while he's up here.
Well, the dream of having Titansmith in the pedestal still remains.
Until then! Until right now! Speaking of Titansmiths.
And that's perfect for Willard, because now he can do Super Bunny Cave and the Hookshot Cave once he's done with the Tower of Hera.
Yep, it really was perfect routing. So unfortunately, though, that means that basement is required because we did not get a big key from either of those two spots. So it's time for your coffee break, guys.
Yeah, for both runners, as we wait for the duck on Sid's side and Willard. Well, let's have some fun with this. Try to fake out the, oh, I know what he's doing. He's setting himself up for a death abuse coming up in the Staphos room.
There's actually some tiles that you could get immunity frames depending upon where you stand.
Yeah, I think what he's trying to do is he's trying to get himself hit by some of these, but not all of these, because you can't withstand all of them. But he's trying to get hit. It looks like he might be trying to get some of his health down, or nope, never mind. Well, anyways, the Staphos are going to be nice enough to knock out some of his health, because I do see a death abuse coming up. And Dead Rocks, please, for a piece of heart.
And there we go. There is our big key. So Willard will be heading up now towards Moldorm.
I guess he
Still
finds
one more item in this dungeon, so it would be nice if he could find the book.
Yeah, that would be extremely nice, so we can check the Ether tablet while he's up here. We've already found Titansmith, so we know that's not at the pedestal. Getting the flippers when he did, getting the Titansmith when he did, that opens up Ice Palace. That also does open up Misery Mire once he gets done with Aghanim.
Yeah, and as we were saying earlier, it seems like Misery Mire might hold something fairly important. Just because the seed is kind of begging you to go there at this point.
You know what would be extremely evil for this seed right now? What if Turtle Rock is Ether Medallion required, and it has the Ice Rod inside?
That would be interesting. I haven't seen a Turtle Rock Ice Rod for a long time. So I don't believe the other item, I might have missed it, but I did not see Willard pick up the other item. Ooh.
It is on Moldorm.
Denied twice by Moldorm.
This Moldorm does not really care for visitors.
Get out of my house. Sound just like Moldorm.
Go back to where you came from. Oh, 20 rupees.
So that's the second item. Unfortunately, no book.
What could return the possibility of having the mirror be on the pedestal? That would be evil.
Ugh, I've had a mirror on the pedestal and it is no fun. I do not wish it on these players at all.
Not even as a commentator?
No, not even as a commentator. Willard's gonna be going to Spiral Cave now. And this is really great routing. Spiral Cave, then back down to lift up the rock to do the Dark World. And because he has the hook shot, basically gonna be able to completely clear the Dark World part of this.
And there's Sid finding the Titan's mitt inside. So now Sid will have the same advantage that Willard does. Hey, shield upgrade. How you doing?
So time for Sydarial's coffee break room. The moment in time where the runners can opt to just take a break if they do the iframes. And looks like he does it perfectly.
Yep, Sid opted to go with the iframes. Willard is now in the Super Bunny cave. And it looks like Willard is ahead as far as exploration is concerned. Don't forget, Willard still has to do Aghanim.
So we have a heart piece in here and the Super Bunny cave and just a bomb upgrade. Not yielding too much. We find in this version of the logic, a lot of the times you'll find the dungeons will be where you're going to find those big items like the Titan's mitts and the hook shot.
And that's why I'm thinking maybe Ice Palace would be the destination. Quake required to get into Turtle Rock, so that adds another possibility for the pedestal. Unless Willard finds the Quake at this cave.
I've actually seen quite a few times the medallions to be close by the dungeons. So
that's why I'm thinking it.
Could be Quake in one of these chests. So far, this cave has not been very good. Nope. Just heart.
So, Willard is going to make the trip up to Aghanim. And it's going to be the time that Sid will go ahead and get everything mopped up in Hera, as well as the other various stuff that needs to be taken care of in the Dark World version of this.
Yeah, interestingly enough, I feel like there's still, even though Sydarial has checked a bunch of the areas outside of the outside of the pyramid, I feel like they're still extremely close with how they routed.
Yeah, everything that Willard did, with the exception of accidentally go up this tower up until he got to the 3rd floor here, it's stuff that Sid has done. So at one point in time, we're going to see both of these guys even out. And really, the difference between these two will be told once Willard is done activating the swag duck, getting the flute activated, and Sid is done checking the Dark World caves coming up.
Yeah, and checking Catfish. Willard still would have to do.
That's a nice kill there for Sid. I was getting worried there with the way that Moldorm was heading. And a good point that Willard could be on tilt with an 0-2 record, the way the last 2 races have gone for him, knowing that with a loss here, the only way he can get into the group stage is by winning out the last 3 races and getting into the race-off. And that's going to be a lot of pressure for both of these runners, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. That's not something you want to be having to worry about. Is especially dependent upon how many people are in that.
So Willard is going to be going up here, and just a reminder, we had 0 blue balls. So if Willard messes up on this and he ends up getting blue balls, that's on him. So I think Sid's going to be maybe having about a minute advantage over Willard once we get everything all said and done by the time he opens up the chest in the hookshot cave, because Willard will still have to go activate the duck, get the flute and go activate the swag duck. So that's the difference right there.
Yep, flute, he'd still need to check Catfish in order to be on the exact same page.
And I would bet that Willard at this point is going to gamble that catfish is not needed, and he knows, and we know that he would gain an advantage from it because catfish was only worth, what was it, 20 rupees? Oh, here we go, net strats.
Swagging him. So he so far hit all the ones required. So he only needs 2 more.
Yep, and he knows this one would be guaranteed.
Yep.
And he's probably thinking, wow, 6 for 6. Yeah, there it is.
As Sydarial finds Quake as the medallion for Turtle Rock.
And Willard's going to go ahead and check to see what's on the ledge, and
Accidentally hookshotting off there instead of dashing. It looks like he might actually opt for catfish.
Oh, this is surprising. But he may have been burned in the past by catfish and probably doesn't want to take the gamble at this point. So I'm surprised that he's actually doing this, but again, it's going to turn out not to be not necessary. Sid is done with the necessary stuff we found over at the Hookshot Cave, and I think Ice Rod and... Oh, don't forget, Wood had already faked Flippered, so he knows what is at the waterfall. Sid might be making his way over that way now.
There's also the fact that although Willard went up towards Zora, he wasn't able to actually talk to Zora yet because he didn't have enough rupees. So depending upon what Zora has, that could also be an interesting situation. Because he was able to check what was on the ledge there, but without having 500 rupees, he could not get the Zora item.
Well, in my opinion, this race is even until we get something new progressively. Well, there's Carrot Sword. How about that?
Looks like we're about to get the King's Tomb check.
I don't know if Sid checked this. No, Sid didn't check this.
No,
this is new territory.
Oh! Hi! It's the bow!
That is huge for WillardJBradley. Until Sid gets into King's Tomb, that's an advantage that Willard's going to get.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's huge.
So Willard's going to go grab the Swag Duck, get the flute first, and then head over to Swag Duck. Sid is going to find out what 500 rupees buys you today. And it's going to come up with a bad game show title, but, well, by the time I come up with a good title, he will already have made the purchase. What do you think he's going to get from Zora today?
You know, I feel like there's just nothing really that would be that good. I feel like he's probably just going to get something like a heart piece.
Well, for Willard's sake, because this is now a loose square for him, let's hope it's nothing big.
But
it's the blue cane.
Cane of Burna, my favorite item.
So if Willard never makes it up to Zora, consider himself an advantage at that point. People saying it opens up Pod. Pod is a pendant, but you cannot discount pendant dungeons in version 26.
Yep. It would be nice if he had the mirror when he went over there, because that way he'd just be able to mirror over to Eastern. But Pod, I believe, has five items in there. So
5 plus 1.
Yeah, there's potential for even the mirror to be in there, which could be really handy. I didn't actually get to see what
Ether.
It was. It was Ether. See? That's what we were saying earlier, was that basically this seed has been screaming at them to go to Misery Mire really early.
All right, Sid's going to probably make that journey in there now.
And interestingly enough, I think Misery Mire is their second double-chested fairy crystal.
Ooh, that's a good point. That could be something in there. So Sid is going to go into Misery Mire. Let's see if there's something good in those 2 items.
I'm not seeing a bird toss.
There is no bird because I think he came from the north, so the bird was nowhere to be found.
Oh.
Sid gets a 0. So WillardJBradley has a chance to win the bird tossing championships a little bit later on.
Yeah, Willard checking a lot of overworld stuff. He might be getting greedy with getting the bow in the King's Tomb area.
If I was Willard, I would be trying to make a path on over to Pod at some point in time. Like as we pointed out, it is a pendant dungeon, but version 26 says screw pendant dungeons. They are going to be required whether or not we say they are or not.
Exactly. Or even completing crystal dungeons that you're able to do now at this point. He does have the capability of going to do Mire, so...
And Sid's going to give us a peek of what's inside. Now, we know there's going to be a key in this upcoming chest that is protected by the spikes because we found a compass in that first chest, but is it the big key or is it a small key? Hi,
That's
small
a small key.
Willard is making the play for Mire.
Looks
Or
like
not.
he's gonna check Desert Ledge first, and probably Agina's Cave. Both areas, well, at least Agina's Cave is an area that he's able to check right off the bat. He'll probably flute out and go to Misery Mire fairly shortly thereafter. Ooh, just some love in Agina's Cave.
That's the worst kind of love.
So I don't think I've seen any of the items yet in Misery Mire. I might have missed one.
Well, you would be correct. We have yet to see one.
Oh!
Until
well,
then, there's the quake
there's
required
Quake
for
for-
Turtle Rock.
Yep.
Ooh, those bomb things take a lot of your health when you're a green
Yeah.
tunic.
Down to 2 hearts. He cannot get hit by a whiz robe here, otherwise he's going to not be alive anymore.
Dying in Misery Mire is such misery. Well, there's going in too. That's a good play.
So it's a good play for him. He needs the crystal. He's gonna find Quake. That's gonna also be able to lead him to Turtle Rock. And I know Willard is the kind of runner.
Mirror!
Oh my god! I was gonna say the kind of runner who gambles on Turtle Rock early, but geez, see what we were talking about. This steed totally was screaming Misery Mire earlier.
WillardJBradley also got a 0 for the bird toss. Did not throw one.
Aw.
Getting that mirror is huge for Sid because now he's probably likely going to go into the checkerboard cave. Also check out Desert. It's a short check. Even though it's a pendant, you got to go in there. Take a short check inside. I am worried about Sid's health at this point, though. Now, there's going to be a big advantage between Willard and Sid at this point, and that will come by way of what Willard has in that very top left of his item menu.
The bow. Sydarial does have half magic, the cape, and tempered sword.
Well, Willard just has the Master Sword, but Willard has silver arrows. That Vitreous has no chance.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's so quick to do with silver arrows. But with tempered sword, it's not that bad.
Oh! And Sid goes down. Oh,
Ooh, and not having a fairy or anything for the revival. This going back to the beginning of Misery Mire is rough, especially when you're down in that basement part.
And by the way, Ice Ride now for go mode. That is a death that Sid could not afford to take at that point.
Yeah, interestingly enough, for the lack of dungeons that they've completed, they're basically at go mode.
All that now needs to be asked is where could that final item be? Where could the ice rod be?
The hunt for the ice rod, yeah, and that seems to be typical. If you need the ice rod, it'll be the last thing you find. If you don't need it, though, you're gonna find it fairly early on.
WillardJBradley about to pick up the mirror. He already grabbed the Quake just a few moments ago, so down he goes. There's the mirror, and Garfield still probably hates Mondays.
So yeah, this is actually quite interesting. Both Willard and Sydarial are both missing the ice rod. Sydarial missing the bow, which is at King's Tomb. And I feel like Sydarial will probably try to clear most dungeons before looking for the bow in the overworld, as logically it tends to have a higher chance to be in a dungeon.
So somebody was asking you what that frosty rod was required for, and I'll let you go ahead and make that explanation.
The ice rod is actually needed for the final boss of Turtle Rock. Try next. Has 2 heads, one of fire, one of ice. You can only damage the heads if you hit them with the rod of the opposing element. So to kill the fire head, you need the ice rod.
Now, Sid does, of course, as you mentioned before, have the tempered sword plus the cape, so it's going to be an easier fight, but it's still a case here where Sid is going to be taking a lot longer than Willard will be for this fight.
Yeah, and right now he kind of needs all the time he can find, because looking for that bow might be a bit of it might be a bit difficult depending upon where he decides to go. Willard is fairly low on hearts, but he does have the silvers, which is going to give him a lot of extra leeway for that.
Yeah, with 41 arrows, he's going to have an easy time with this Vitreous fight. Him having 4 hearts is not much of a concern. So if you're Sid, where do you go next? Do you go check Desert?
I believe that I would check Desert.
Well, we're going to find out
Cave
this
too.
was. All right. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
Oh, good.
11, 12, 13, 14. Vitreous is gone.
I was wondering what you were counting. I thought you were counting the arrows, and I was like, either I am missing a lot of these, or...
And that right there shows the power of having the silver arrows against Vitreous, against Sid, who probably spent 14 seconds alone trying to knock off the eyeball, the final eyeball stage.
So it looks like Willard is also going to check Checkerboard Cave before heading over. I think,
No, he's going to get that blue mail, and he's going to go down to the desert. At least, at the very least, he's going to get this blue mail to help him out for the remainder of this run.
yeah, absolutely. No, it looks like he's heading into Desert, and with only 1 required item for Go Mode, hopefully it's something that's not too trolly.
You know what, honestly, getting that mirror was probably the best thing for Sid right there, because now this gives him a reason to check the north side where the bow was found to be.
That's true. That is very true.
And there he goes. He's heading in that direction right now. But what would this be if the ice rod turns out to be in this big chest that WillardJBradley's about to go into?
Nope.
No, that's just a key.
Just a small key.
So both of these runners in about 15 seconds from now will be on even terms as far as what they need for go mode. The ice rod, which could still be in the pedestal.
Yeah, literally can be anywhere. That's the crazy thing about Ice Rod. Just can't be in Ganon's Tower and can't be at Trinex.
Yep, it could be at the double-chested fairy, it could be at the pedestal, it could be anywhere in Turtle Rock, it could be anywhere for these runners. So this is going to be, we had this going on a lot in the first tournament where we were dealing with 18 logic, where it was that one item for go mode, and who gets it first is the person who's got the best advantage.
Yep. I was really worried that Sydarial was going to find it in there. And that would have been terrible for Willard only because he had already checked all the items up here except for that one ledge.
So I would like to see some activity in the chat from the people who are watching us, the 1,000 or so people that are here on Speed Gaming. Where is that ice rod? Where do you think it's going to be?
I think it would be really fitting for it to be an ice palace.
Oh, that would be a beautiful place to be.
Ice Rod and Ice Palace.
I'm still going to go with my original thought that I was thinking of probably about 20 minutes ago in Palace of Darkness.
Palace of Darkness wouldn't be a bad play either.
Well, I like Willard's play now. With the mirror in hand, he's going to go check Swamp Palace.
I feel like Swamp has been very lackluster with items lately. Even though it has 6 items in it, I don't tend to find that it yields a lot of results when it comes to the hunt for items lately. At least in this logic.
Somebody's saying that we should check the planet Zebes for the ice rod. No, that's the ice beam.
So Sydarial is bringing back the blacksmith. We've seen Willard drop off the blacksmith already and do the peg caves. So this is, we know unfortunately he's not going to find the ice rod here, but I don't believe Willard did purple chest, if I'm not mistaken. So that's still an item left that we do not know what the item is.
And now everybody is going to go and give us the trolliest of answers, including but not limited to the ice rod being on the pedestal with the boots, or rather the book being at Trinex, so we can't ever find out what's at the pedestal. You guys are so evil.
So I think that because Sydarial has the mirror and the flute, we're probably going to see him mirror here and flute the chest over.
Express delivery. So this is a battle of the first one to get to the ice rod. What is in the purple chest we find?
A heart container.
A lot of love.
Very healthy seed. Lots of hearts.
Sid, Ice Palace. Whoa.
Oh no, I think the ice rod is an ice palace.
We're gonna find out if you're right, Sakura.
So Willard, not flooding the key, is grabbing the key down here in order to make things a little quicker. I like this strategy by grabbing the key on the ledge in the big chest room and then grabbing this key and then flooding the canal.
So this is good plays for both of these runners. These dungeons do need to be done.
Yeah, 6 items in Swamp and 3 items in Ice Palace. Both crystal dungeons, so both required. But I think more people prefer to go mode Ice Palace than Swamp.
Oh, that's a nice place to find the key. I always like finding the key of the first chest in Ice Palace.
So we get that first chest check in Ice Palace, and then it's a little bit before we find any more.
We get to see if Sid can pull off the Ice Palace bomb jump. But before he does that, we're going to see Willard get at least 3 chests out of this place.
Yeah, he might get the big key down in these chests down here, so he might go back down, or might go back up to check what the big chest is. Ooh, mirror
Riot
shield.
and the compass. Did we? And we already found the map too, so that means the big chest is going to have an item.
Yep, absolutely. And it looks like the boss has the big key.
Oh, typical Argus. 1 or 2 bosses in this game that could have the big key. Sid looks like he's just positioned just a little bit less, and he's going to give up on this bomb jump attempt.
Yeah, it's not really that necessary because he's got the Cane of Samaria and he has to full check the dungeon anyways. It's not really a big, time loss for him to do it this way.
And Willard, unfortunately, showing off where the Master Sword can get him into trouble because, well, you gotta hit those little puffs twice. Those cheese ball things.
All right. And he's got Fire Rod. He's also got Silver Arrows. The Silver Arrows can actually make it so that you only have to hit him once. You just gotta have great aim.
Willard going with the Fire Rod strats here, and 2 doubles, and that is it. He is down. 50 rupees.
Bombos.
And bombos. Nice place for the bombos to be. So I guess we were a little bit wrong with our count because that was not the big key.
I guess he must not have completed left side.
Well, that...
I wonder why he would flood it.
He must not have. Yeah, that's weird.
Speaking of big keys, though, Sydarial just picked up his from Ice Palace.
So we are going to get 1 item in the big key on the left-hand side, and then the big chest will have the final item. And there's the compass, and, well, Sid's not finding what he needs to find just yet. Willard hoping to get something good in here. Both of these runners need the Ice Rod to win this game and go on to go mode. I think we've only seen 1 item in this dungeon, right?
So far, yes.
So that means the Jelly Room and Cold Stair will have the final 2.
Yeah, he's got 3 keys at the moment.
Map, no.
So interestingly enough, it looks like then he did get an item somewhere else.
10 arrows, and Willard is mirroring out of here.
Probably to get to the big chest? Or did he mean to hook shot?
We're being told that we can't count.
Math was always my worst
10
subject
arrows
anyways.
and bombos, so that means Cold Stair is going to have the final item. Oh, Willard mirrored before he got the big key.
Oh boy.
Oh my god.
Maybe, Swamp might be his favorite dungeon. He just might like to do it more than once, that's all.
This is going to be an unfortunate scenario here for Willard. He's got to be on tilt at this point, just because of what happened to him earlier with Aghanim's Tower. He might be thinking he's behind at this point.
Well, yeah, at this point, I'm scared that he still has the mirror out. Please put that mirror away, Willard.
Piece of heart from Cold Stair, so it is not a nice.
There's the big key.
chat saying this isn't as bad as the triple dip of Hera, but this is already feeling like a triple dip of Swamp. All right. This big chest is gonna scare me.
So we have Swamp
20
Palace.
rupees!
Yeah, and it looks like Sydarial's heading over to Swamp Palace as well. So we might see, interestingly enough, you can combine Pod and Eastern Palace still. Neither of them have done that. And just even going over there, setting up the warp and just completing Eastern Palace, and if it doesn't have what you're looking for, just mirroring over quickly and just dipping into Pod.
They already found all 3 items in Eastern, though.
Well, they still have to complete it. Oh,
right,
they found... Yeah.
They still have to complete it, but they've already found all 3 items. I'm surprised Sid didn't try doing the pyramid bomb before venturing in here, being 1 item away from go mode.
Especially considering, yeah, the seed was basically begging them to go to Misery Mire early. But I feel like Pod is definitely a good idea for them to go to if they don't find it, at least here.
Willard's doing it. Alright, can the double-chested fairy be the answer to our problems?
And nicely enough, they have the Aghanim warp, so they're just able to quickly mirror here, go back to the Dark World. They don't have to go the scenic route.
You mean there's a scenic route?
Yeah, the way with the hammer.
You mean that's scenic?
Well, I mean, it's longer.
Good point. Alright, WillardJBradley going into the double-chested fairy.
Ooh.
Tempered sword, so that's the 3rd sword upgrade. That's the 4th sword upgrade we've seen. So if he does check Hobo, he will have butter. But no ice rod.
Ooh. Got blocked by those piggies. I think we might be seeing some Pod.
I think we're going to be seeing Hobo first. He's going to get butter.
Well, that's going to be good for him.
Willard probably going, come on, please be the ice rod. Please be the ice rod. And probably okay finding butter, but that's not why he wants to find it an hour 17 in.
No, definitely not. Especially somewhere that could have been checked early. He might be wondering, oh, did my opponent have this sword a long time ago? And might have had better boss battles than me. Plus with the issue with Aghanim's tower and then going into the swamp a couple times. Ooh, looks like we're gonna see his Zora check now.
Yeah, he's trying to run out of options. And one of the options...
Yeah, sorry.
I was going to say, one of the options right now is to go into Turtle Rock. And I know people don't like going into Turtle Rock, but it's a good possibility you might end up having to do it with the attempt to go get the ice rod in there. It gave you the Quake and Misery Mire. This is probably one of those follow the breadcrumbs.
Willard always loves to make those gambles, though. He has always been a Turtle Rock gambler, so if it comes down to it, he will make that gamble. I'm just wondering if he's going to at least do Eastern Palace first, prior to doing that. He does have to do Ice Palace still.
And that's where he's going.
Where he's going, yep.
So, Sid and Willard, the panel for where the ice rod continues. We're now in minute number 16 of the search for ice rod.
Yeah, and Sydarial having the tempered sword, only 1 slash on these little puffs.
Yeah, you can get him right over the corner right now and make a quick 1 cycle out of this Argus. And 2 spins, and down will go this Argus.
Very nice. Very nice Argus fight. Willard having butter coming into Ice Palace is going to make Cold Stare that much easier, especially once he finds Bombos.
So Sid done with Swamp. Willard heading into Ice. Sid is going to be rechecking the Swamp play at this point. We'll go ahead and grab the big key as well.
I always like this strategy. Oh, except for when that happens.
Willard's got to calm himself down. I think a lot of this is nerves. Like, I really think he's nervous about this game, especially considering the fact that he's now lost his first 2 races.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's just certain things that I'm seeing from Willard right now that's making me think that just the way that some of these errors are happening with the whole thing that happened to him in Swamp.
Yeah, I don't know how much time he's had to really practice either with, all the tournament stuff going on too. So that could also be a little bit worrisome for him. It might be something he's worried about. Be like, oh, well, I just haven't had enough time. Maybe my skill isn't up to par or other things like that. So might be taking more risks than usual.
Yeah, he, like you, are part of that administrative team for the secondary tournament that's going on for the Overflow.
Yes, sir.
And you know firsthand all the time that you guys are spending trying to coordinate the matches and things like that.
Yeah, it's a ton of fun. And I think this is where Sydarial picked up Bombos in the next chest here, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, there was those 10 arrows. Somehow we missed.
I still didn't see them. It's fictional that they exist. Chad saying they love their admins.
Don't worry, we love you guys too.
Hey, we're trying to behave in the secondary tournament. Until you give us the trolliest seeds possible. Don't do that to me tomorrow night.
Try my best. Can't make any promises. So, unfortunately, both of these players are basically cleaning up where each other have left off. We're not going to be seeing much soon until one of them decides to go either into Pod or Eastern or Turtle Rock at this point.
I only had butter 20 minutes into my seed because Sakura did not dish it out. I did it in the name of DT. Please, DT, help me out tomorrow.
So we're getting to see another pyramid fairy check. So Sydarial is going to be grabbing his butter sword.
So at this point, I think both of these runners are going to be at even Stevens. And again, the battle is who gets the ice rod first.
Oh, Willard.
Ooh, Willard, please be careful.
Oh
Do not
my
die.
gosh.
Use
He
your
cannot
cape.
get hit. Oh,
Use your cape.
God.
Thank you.
He's got 2 hearts. He needs to kill Cold Stare before this magic runs out. One more hit.
There he
Very
is. He's
nicely
got
done.
it.
So now we'll get to see where does Willard and Sydarial decide to go from here. They have limited options. They've checked a lot of the locations already.
I bet Sid is going to go, nope, never mind. I thought Sid was going to go for Pod, but
Well,
Sid
he
wants to
is
prove me
pulling
wrong.
out the flute, so might flute over there. Or desert. Yes, Sydarial actually has not completed desert. Ooh, nice. He's seen the blue mail. So, interestingly enough, with Santa Link, the mail is a bit reversed.
He's going pod.
Oh,
He wanted to just see what was on the pyramid ledge, rather on the desert ledge.
so it looks like both of them are going to pod.
Oh, look at this synchronicity. I'm pumped, Sakura. Let's do this.
Yeah, this all comes down to who finds the ice rod first.
Hi, Double Kiki.
Oh my gosh, they're synced.
Here we go. Synchronicity, Kiki, door opening. Boom. Here we go. Will Palace of Darkness have the answers that we are looking for?
Or will it be in Turtle Rock?
We'll let you know in the next 4.5 minutes.
So, this first item could be either a key or an item. So, key will lead them probably right up the middle.
Yeah, best place to go right now is right up to the middle. Check what's on the ledge. If that's another key, make your way through the maze and such.
Yeah, there's many different ways to route this dungeon. So, depending upon how they do it.
And remember, this dungeon is completable until you get the ice rod. And we got route divergence.
Interestingly enough, Willard is deciding to go down to the back area because that is where you're going to find the most items. The game's logic is designed to keyload the front of the dungeon so that basically... Oh my god! It's the ice rod!
1 hour, 27 minutes. WillardJBradley, the first to the ice rod because he checks the back of pod and he is in.
He is in go mode, guys. Let's see those go modes in chat. But yeah, the pod is designed to be keyloaded in the front so you don't soft lock yourself. So going to the back when you're looking for one item is definitely the way to go, as you just saw from Willard.
If you had to do this dungeon, you're still searching for everything. I can understand what Sid's doing, but you're looking for just one item in this dungeon. And as you just mentioned, it is front-loaded keys, back-loaded items. Willard did that. He got rewarded. Ice Rod, go mode. Now the question is, how far back does Willard think he is?
I feel like Willard will feel like he's fairly far behind. With what happened with Aghanim, with what happened with, he checked a lot of the overworld locations and found an item in pod, which is something that a lot of people check fairly early. So he might be feeling like, oh my gosh, my opponent has a huge lead on me because of all the other situation that happened. So that bomb took a while to blow up.
Yeah, what ended up happening is because Sid walked up those stairs, it freezes the timer as far as the bomb. Yeah, that's why it took an unusual amount of time. But Sid's about to get the ice rod here, and it is going to be a question of execution here. WillardJBradley is going to be in Eastern Palace ahead of Sid as we make our way through the final portion of this race. This is going to be exciting.
Yeah, one more dungeon required after this, Turtle Rock, and we're going to see them basically blast through it. They're looking for I believe, just keys in there at this point.
Yep. You're hoping that you get the god set up in Turtle Rock where you don't have to deal with the laser bridge at this point.
And I wonder if Sydarial is feeling like he's any bit behind with not going into pod until fairly late. He must be feeling a little bit of pressure too at 1:30, getting into go mode now. I wonder how far my opponent is.
The thing is, Sid looked like he had a lead at various points in this race, but he just gave it back by doing the same things that Willard ended up doing on the opposite side. These guys kind of like did weaving routes where they met up at certain points and they split up at certain points.
Yeah, basically both of them did reverse routing of each other. So now it's all going to come down to execution.
And Willard's going to flip when he takes a look at that entrance into pod and seeing how tight that race was until he made that move for the back.
Yeah, and both of these players need this win at the moment. So they're both probably really nervous going into this.
A loss in this race puts them at 0-3. They're going to have to win out if they want to keep their tournament life if they want to keep their tournament lives or tournament life. Words are not coming to me right now. Skip it. We move on. Sid picking up the crystal from Eastern Palace. He is going to be heading off to Turtle Rock.
And finds the big key. Willard finds the big key in the first chest. So now it's just going to be grabbing enough keys to get through to the final boss. Probably hoping that he doesn't have to go into the laser skip room. He has the riot shield, so it wouldn't be that big of a deal, but it's definitely a little bit more time consuming. And every second matters in these races.
The god setup is if he can get all keys from here on out, so that way he doesn't even have to deal with the big chest.
Powder?
But he's not going to get that. But the magic powder right there, that's a good safety to have. But not what WillardJBradley wanted to find at this point. So this has been quite the race, and we're not done with this just yet, because one thing in Ganon's Tower could still bring this in a different direction, and that comes up to the right side, left side gamble.
Yeah, that's always the tough part when you're going into Ganon's Tower and you just don't know where your opponent is. You make crazy gambles, and sometimes they pay off. You know, you could get a key in Tile Room. So
yeah, it happened to a certain person that we know. Watch that VOD, trust me.
So Willard is going to be grabbing this key from the pokey down here, and then going to be going back up. Not going to be opening up this chest here because he does not... Oh, hello. That's a cute little bunny. Or is that Odie?
It's Odie.
Oh, nice. Totally botched that one.
Bunny Beam Garfield is Odie, which is clever. The statisticians in our chat are telling us that Sid is 2 minutes behind WillardJBradley. That is still time that he can come back at this point.
Yeah, especially in Ganon's Tower.
But it does come down to right side, left side. Don't forget, Sid is doing this with green mail. That red is just the basic tunic color for the Santa Claus outfit.
So, oh, for a second I thought Willard was switching to the mirror, then quickly realized nope. And these guys both have butter sword and silver arrows for the Ganon fight. So it's gonna be, once they get to Ganon, a very quick fight. So Willard hoping to find a key, and very nice. Does not need to do the laser skip now. And these chomps,
Sid!
Yeah, these chomps are definitely not letting Sid get away with grabbing that chest. He needs to be very careful again here.
And he's gonna have it. I was gonna say he's gonna have a delay before that magic cape is allowed to be turned on, but thankfully he's got it in, gets the key, gets done. That magic powder is going to help out immediately because now he can go ahead and grab these anti-fairies for extra life.
So Willard's going to be heading into the Trinex fight fairly quickly.
That's a nice drag from Willard. I might have to borrow that.
Yeah, very quick. He is so concerned about how his seconds, he's not even grabbing the magic from underneath the skull.
Understandable. With Butter Sword, he doesn't need to worry about it because it's only going to take one freeze of the red head, one heat of the blue head to get done. Although he didn't switch in time, so he's going to have to wait a couple extra seconds.
Yeah, but he makes very quick work of Trinex. Now, second phase of Trinex, just defeating the snake part of them. And very nicely done Trinex fight.
WillardJBradley getting the crystal out of Turtle Rock.
And some bombs.
And some bombs to go with it. Will be the first one to head to Ganon's Tower.
All right, guys.
If you please.
It's that time of the race. Where do you think the big key will be in Ganon's Tower? Get those guesses in chat, guys.
While the gazillion of numbers fly through the chat, I'm going to go ahead and make my guess. I'm going to say chest number 7. Sakura, what's your guess?
Oh, 7? What is this?
We can both go 7.
I always guess 7.
I remembered that just as I was saying that's always your guess. So we're going to both say 7.
But Willard does actually some interesting routing in Ganon's Tower.
That's why this race isn't over with yet.
So Willard normally does actually what I call the all over the place strat, because he never goes the same way twice.
All right. Behind chest number 1 and 2. Sakura, what do we find?
Bomb upgrade and a small key, so that leads him right side.
He is going to go with the right hand side. Is this a gamble that will give WillardJBradley some advantage in this run? He's probably got an idea that he's behind and wondering why he hasn't seen a dot done from his opponent just yet, but little does he know he is actually in the lead at this point.
Ooh, he's getting blocked by that rock. Dash through that door. So this is actually quicker sometimes to get to Ice Armos, depending upon how you do this.
So chest number 3 through 7 coming up.
So it looks like he's not going to be checking Ice Armos. He's going to be mirroring out right after he checks these. Ooh,
no big key on the right hand side.
So he's going to grab a small key here. And then I think mirror. Yep. Ooh, unfortunately, Sydarial having a little bit of trouble here with Trinex. Getting that ice floor. Luckily, with Butter Sword, still not that huge of an issue, but can be a pain in the butt.
Yeah, just unfortunate that he's not getting the best setup here against this Trinex fight, because right now this is where execution really, really matters. And so we are now at chest number 7 coming up here for Willard. Chests 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Not chest 7. Or 8.
Sorry, Sakura.
Or 9. Or 10.
So shamefully, if he had done the normal standard route, we would have still been wrong at 7.
Yep.
Now, what if this does turn out to be Tower Room and Sid checks it first? That'd be quite the gamble.
Huge. Huge for him. And I really honestly wonder at 139 how these runners are feeling with. I know Willard feels behind. You can tell by the the gambles he's making. Because
Well,
he normally goes a different way in Ganon's tower if he feels like he's ahead. Oh, there's the book! Ganon's key on pedestal? By the way, we switched it out for a key sanity seed. Uh-oh! Oh my gosh.
How dare you do that to us? Alright, randomizer room coming up next. No?
Oh,
No.
I'm so nervous at this point.
No.
Oh my gosh.
Armos, Bob, or tile room?
Okay, Sydarial is skipping tile room, so we might see them both going to Armos at the same time, depending upon how they route this. If Sydarial goes to Armos after these chests instead of going down or mirroring out, they could both be getting the key fairly similar times.
That would be something. Alright, Willard. Do we have a big key at the Bob chest?
Bob chest.
Survey says...
Powder.
Yes!
Big key at Bob chest. So Willard being the first one up through the center of Ganon's tower. And Sydarial unfortunately mirrors out, so he's gonna have to go the long way to get it.
So if you pick chest number 17, you win today's prize. We don't know what the prize is. We are still out of Furfy Durfy's Love and Affection. We are supposed to get that in stock really soon. Probably next time he commentates. Anyways, you'll get whatever's in the validation chest, if they check it.
My undying love.
I'm sorry, it's just number 18. I'm trying to give the prize away to somebody else.
That's okay. We always have chat there to correct us.
So Willard is probably still in the position where he thinks he's behind, but little does he know, he now does have a comfortable lead, as long as he doesn't have any issues with the Ganon fight coming up.
Or a fall to Moldorm.
Yeah, we've had some interesting races with WillardJBradley. I believe you were on the commentary for one of the most bizarre races in Ganon's Tower involving Willard.
It's quite possible. Remind me what that was again.
I forgot. I think it had something to do with... Oh, it had something to do with, I believe Rywek was going up the tower with 0 keys, so had to get lucky.
Oh, yes, that's right. Oh, my gosh. That's right. The only time I've ever been so excited for a small key.
Yeah, that is correct. Well, thankfully, because Willard has 2 keys, we don't have to worry about this time.
Oh, yeah, and he also killed Ganon and walked off the edge. Had to kill Ganon again. That's right.
I think we're going to make sure that he doesn't do it this time around.
I think that he has learned that that's probably not the best strategy.
Well, I don't think walking off the edge here is also a good strategy, but this is his nerves talking at this point. You've got that idea that you've been running behind because of the mistakes that you've ended up making. This is a very critical race for you because, again, this is a matchup between 2 0-2 runners.
Oh yeah, and at this point, if you're nervous, your hands might be a bit palmy. Haha. And, you know, your hands might be slipping on some of these controls, so...
He might just have to give play a little more Super Mario Kart when he's done.
All right, so 1 slash and 1 spin needed for, or 2 slashes for Moldorm 2. Very nice fight for Willard here. No validation check. He does not have time for that. He feels like he is behind and he's just gonna go. He does not see the dot done. So he is taking that opportunity to blast through the rest of the fights here.
Though we do not find out what the prize for those who guessed 18 on the count is just yet because of Willard. Now, if Sid does not check that chest either, everybody loses. Goodbye. I want to say that's a double, not a triple for Willard. That's another double. So he should be on 4, and this is a perfect setup to get him down.
Oh,
there
nice.
we go. 2,
There's
2,
that
and
double.
2.
Double, double, double.
That's your triple-double right there for WillardJBradley. The first one over to the Ganon fight.
Oh, very nicely done for Sydarial on this gauntlet.
Yeah, he's showing off some good skills in this gauntlet.
Absolutely. And here we go with WillardJBradley heading into the Ganon fight. This is it. Gotta think outside the box for this one, apparently.
I don't want to.
That should be enough hits. We'll do the dash poking strats. Need 6 pokes. 1 more. And done. Sydarial making quick work of Landmolas too. Ooh, Willard not getting that first hit off before the fire bats.
Thankfully, he did get it off before Ganon moved away, so he was able to make it count.
2 more hits necessary to move Ganon to the last phase. So there's the 1 hit. Needs 1 more. Very nicely done.
Ganon's
So he's
gonna
gonna hit
if
him
he-
here.
Yeah, he's gonna ask if he found the silver arrows, which he did quite easily. Hey, there's one right for you. Doesn't get the
Oh, triple right here.
here. 1, 2, 3, you're down.
GG! Good job, Willard, on that triple. That setup was beautiful.
And WillardJBradley is going to be going through the door. Hopefully.
Yeah, no falling
Hopefully.
this time.
Come on, let's do it right this time. And that's done in 1 hour, 47 minutes, and 24 seconds. Get your GGs in there for WillardJBradley.
That
1 and
was
2 on this tournament.
amazing. Oh my gosh. Let's see if we can bring him in for an interview.
Him not want to talk? Impossible. And the big thing that made the difference for him was the going up north in the Palace of Darkness. This race was even going into there.
So Sydarial might open validation chest? Nope. Decided we will not see what's in there.
So everybody loses. Thank you for playing, everybody. We'll catch you in the next race tomorrow here on Speed Gaming and the Speed Gaming family of networks.
That triple at the end there, though, whew, that was beautiful. Beautiful Ganon fight.
So this here is the only of the week 3 races we have tonight here on Speed Gaming. We have a whole bunch of them scheduled for you tomorrow. We'll bring up the schedule in just a moment.
Yeah, it looks like we have a WillardJBradley we can pull into chat here. Hello, Willard. Congratulations on your victory. How are you feeling? Quiet, I see. Your mic might be muted.
My mic was certainly turned off. I'm feeling really good. I was nervous about some of the mistakes I made in this one, so feeling good to finally get one on the board. Jeez.
We're going to go ahead and talk about some of those mistakes in just a few moments, but While we get Sid going to Ganon, you want to know what the big play that gave you the lead for good?
Was it hookshot at blind?
Nope.
No.
Was it
You
swords?
You were
You
actually
both
behind on both of
entered
those.
You both entered pod at the same exact time. You went up, and Sid dropped down.
Wow.
Yeah, literally you both were synced going into pod, only needing the ice rod.
And
And
having
you-
done the same amount of crystals?
Having
Yep.
done the exact same things, you only needed Eastern and Turtle Rock. And you entered the pod, went to the back, and Sid went to the front. And that was literally the only difference.
Wow. I did not realize it was that close. Where is he right now?
At Ganon.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Woo. Well then, I lucked out because I was so about ready to go up and just gamble on T-Rock having it since I had all those safeties, but I was like, pendant pod, you know.
And it's a good thing you ended up going up there. Now, just as Sid is about to finish off with this Ganon fight, how about that? Oh, don't fall down.
Jeez, that gave me a panic attack for a second.
And he gets Ganon down, and we're going to get him in here in just a moment. That triple at the very end, Willard.
That is my
Gosh.
third triple in a row now for doing for these SRL or these randos. It was pretty good. It's pretty good.
Second place in this race, 151.02. So about 3 minutes, and we'll give it about 39 seconds difference.
Wow. I was not expecting it to... Well, actually, no. I was kind of expecting it to be that close based on at least two of the big mistakes that I made in this run.
Was one of them going into Agnim's tower without a sword?
Yeah, I've been playing too much swordless, but I didn't even have a hammer, so I don't know what... It was weird. I was going up there, and I was, like, using bombs to kill the two blue knights in the next room. I was like, something doesn't feel right. This doesn't make sense. I should... I don't have a sword. That's got to be it.
That's right,
We
Willard.
were-
It's an open seed.
Yeah, and we went, we were actually nervous because you had used your green potion in Agnim's tower and weren't even able to get through it, and then immediately went to go fight Mothula.
It was fine. I figured it out. I got lucky.
And hello to Sid as well. GG.
GG on the race. Yeah, it was quite exciting to watch.
Yes, it was.
GG, Sid.
GG.
So,
Yeah.
let's talk about them breadcrumbs, can we?
Absolutely.
That was
Yeah, that hook shot leading into everything almost.
pretty much.
It
It
was
was like
interesting
a-
because at the beginning we were talking about how basically everything was screaming Misery Mire. How like
Mhm.
the flute was at Aghanim, like the lumberjack cave. You got the cane of Samaria right at the library. Then you got Ether Tablet fairly shortly thereafter, and the lamp. It was just
Yeah.
like, and the power gloves. It was just waiting for Titansmiths, which you guys found very quickly at Tower of Hera.
Uh-huh. Again.
Yeah. I'm excited at the fact that I got early boots this time because so far in this tournament it's been late boots the entire time for me, it seems like.
It was really nice. I really enjoyed that. And that was also what kind of solidified the whole, oh, okay, I definitely have to do Aga. But since I figured it'd make more sense to go after I get the Titan mitts, because getting the flute earlier didn't really make that big of a difference, except for maybe saving time on some minor movement stuff. But
Yeah. I was waiting for either like the hook shot or the mirror or something so I could do the whole Death Mountain stuff. Which, once I got the hook shot from Thieves Town, then did Skullwoods, so I said, yep, this is time for Aghanim.
did you dip into? I'm assuming you cleared Thieves Town immediately.
Yeah, I did.
Did you do that before Mothula, or did you go?
I went Thieves Town into Mothula because I started going Hype Cave up, then went back and around, so I just had the North Dark World loop to do.
Oh, okay, cool. I went Mothula, Thieves Town, and then found that sword, and I was like, dang it, could have had this for Mothula, could have made that slightly easier.
Yeah,
We
you,
were
had you only had Fighter for it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I could have used Hammer, but
We were kind of thinking that about how you were going to react when you got the Master Sword out of the bombable hut.
I mean, I was thankful. I wasn't too angry, but I was thankful. That always seems to happen. Every time I go into Skullwoods first to do Mothula, I always find another sword like immediately afterwards. And then those other 2 swords I found back to back because I'm actually really upset by that because I set up the water walk to go visit. No, not to visit Zora, but to go see what was on the ledge. But then I got bopped by one of the Zoras, so I lost my my fake flipper and water walk, so I couldn't go see Hobo immediately. So I could have had Tempered Sword a lot sooner.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then did you have just the search for the ice route at the end?
Yep. Oh yeah. It was after finishing Mire, getting both Quake and Mirror, I was like, okay, let's pop into desert, check stuff around here so we don't ever have to come back here. And then it was that 50-50-50. Do I go into a pendant dungeon? Do I go into swamp? Do I go into ice? So I ended up let's talk about my swamp for a second. So
I was actually going to ask you about
50-50.
I set up the left side, and then I was banking on finding the big key on the way to Argus. And I didn't, so I went back in, went all the way across, checked one of the chests on the left side, and said, okay, the next chest is going to be the big key to get the compass that's in the big chest. And then as I paused, I was like, oh wait, I have a compass. Oh, here goes my finger hitting the mirror button. Oh
no.
So I mirrored out, and I was like, there's another item in here. So I have
Willard, we're going to have to disable your mirror commands.
Only 20 rupees, so you weren't out of luck.
And then I lucked out in Ice Palace. I gambled on skipping the 2 jelly chest in hopes that Cold Stare had it, because I was not going to go back if that had an item. So, but yeah, apparently, Sid, we entered pod about was it the exact same time, or like
you
just
were synced?
Within
Kiki was opening the dungeon at the exact second.
Yeah, it was pretty much within like a second and a half, but.
Wow.
Both of you were at pod at the same time. The only difference was Willard went north and you dropped down, Sid.
Yeah, I didn't want to gamble on possibly having 2 keys and then be stuck on the back for the Dark Maze, or if Helmasaur was required.
I was already planning on doing a hammer jump, if anything.
Yeah, I don't know how to
needed
do that
to be done.
Yet.
Did you also get all the swords too?
Yes, I did.
Okay. I mean, they were kind of convenient, so.
Yeah, I got my butter after Swamp.
Okay, I did Fat Fairy into Hobo. I mirrored into Hobo and then went up to Pod.
Gotcha.
So that worked out. But yeah.
Did you take right side Ganon's Tower, or did you go left side?
I went right first, and then I went full left.
Okay, so you did the same route I did.
Yeah,
Okay.
You both had the same route in Ganon's Tower. I do want to ask this, Willard. What was your thoughts after you bunked into the rocks after the Aghanim misadventure to find that sword there?
I had a laugh, first of all. Had a very good laugh. I was like, of course, because in my head before going up to Aga, I was like, all right, let's go bonk rocks and then escape. And then before I realized that, I'd already hit the button to go to Link's house. It's like, oh, okay, well, I guess we'll go do Hyrule Castle into Aga. So it was actually more of a misclick that I went there in the first place, because bonk rocks were on my mind. And then after I got it, I was like, okay, well, we can go do Aga Tower now, but I don't really want to do Aga Tower with just Fighter Sword and Fire Rod. I'd rather come back when I have a little bit more power, weaponry. So, but it was pretty funny.
Yeah, I wish I didn't have that bomb guy in Misery Mire clip me. That really cost me safety, and then I ended up dying in Mire in the locker room and Switch.
Oh no, that sucks. Did you grab that blue mail on the desert ledge?
No, I actually forgot to check it, and I was like, okay, before I go into pod, let me go check it in case I just missed it and just the blue mail. And I was like, nah.
Oh, okay. When I first finally got the flute, I fluted over, checked the ledge, and then went and did Agana before going in the Mire area. So, but yeah, it was one of those seeds where everything was extremely telling on where to go next. Once you got Hookshot, it's like, all right, Hookshot to go up to Tower of Hera, and then do all the other stuff to go to Mire, But that bow in King's Tomb was kind of... I actually forgot about that. I was dashing to go get my flute, and I was like, wait, don't forget King's Tomb. Let's go do that. And then that's where I found the bow, and I was like, okay, all right, that's good.
Yeah. If we only would have checked pod first, then we could have just go moded ice and swamp.
Well, that's the frustrating thing, is you never know where that when you're down to one item, and you have 3 whole dungeons it could be in, as well as a plethora of overworld.
We made the reference that this seemed like one of the version 18 tournament races from the spring, where it just was that one item for Go Mode for probably a good, what was it, about 20, 25 minutes that we were on that one single item for Go Mode, Sakura?
Yes.
Felt like it for me.
Yeah, I mean, it was at the 1 hour mark where all I needed left was Ice Rod, I think. Something around there. I was like, all right, time to spend 45 minutes looking for that one item I need.
Yep.
And, pretty close.
Yeah, I was hoping my name would have came true, but I guess pod was required.
Yeah, I was thinking that at the very beginning, and then I'm like, pod's gonna have something. Sorry, Sid.
Yeah, I figured as much. It usually does.
I've kind of gotten into a habit of always checking with Sahasrahla to see what the green pendant is.
Well, at that point, I saw the one pendant in the light world. I'm like, okay, if Misery Mire is the green pendant, do I go for the flute, or
that's
do
what I was worried
flute?
about. I was extremely relieved when I saw that it was required. I was like, oh, good, because you'd hate to do Agate Tower for no reason.
Yeah, that confirmed. Okay, that the Aghanim was required, so we can do it. And then the Red Cane would have been required because one of the Turtle Rock or that had to have it. So
it was kind of an interesting scenario, because you could either do Agate Tower to get access to the Dark World, or you had to pop into Eastern, where you found the glove, and then Hammer was...
Hammer was bottom escape.
Yeah.
So I thought it was interesting. I was like, oh, no, you don't have to do Agate yet. I like how it was an option at that point.
Yeah, I did too, because I was like, okay, go to back escape. Okay, got the hammer. I'm like, well, it's on my way now to Bonk Rocks, so I can go to the Dark World. It was like perfect and convenient.
I mean, because at the time, if you had beaten it, you would have... Well, I guess you would have had nothing to do in the Dark World except go to Pod and get that Ice Rod.
Yeah.
So, there it is. Sometimes mistakes could pay off. You never know.
Well, sometimes it's gamble. Because I was like, okay, do I gamble on Thieves Town after the first 4 didn't really show up much? I'm like, let's just go.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, blind at the end was the hook shot.
Well, that's why I was so hesitant to go into Pod or Desert. Because I was like,
I didn't really want to go into Desert. I was thinking about it after I got the mirror and from
Did you skip it, or did you go in?
I skipped it.
Oh, okay. It was a heart piece and 300 rupees, so...
Yeah, that boy, yeah.
You didn't miss out on much.
No. I checked Checkerboard Cave into Aghanim. I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go end here and then go to, I think, Swamp or Ice. But hey, at least we were synced up at Pod. We're basically at the very end of the game.
Yeah, I can't wait to see chat's reaction to that syncage.
Yeah, it was quite the syncage. It seemed like you guys were going on a double helix route where you guys converged for a little bit and then you guys separated a little bit more. One other question about this race in particular. How about the 0 blue ball Aghanim?
That was
hilarious.
It was so nice, because I even used the bug net. And I was like, all right, cool.
Did Agate 2 throw a blue ball? I think he threw one.
No, I didn't see any blue balls at all.
No, I don't
not?
think
Okay.
so either.
Wow. Can I get this all the time, please?
No, I think he did, actually, now that I recall, because I think somebody hit 2 of them back, but he couldn't hit a third because of a blue ball or something.
I know Willard had a 2, 2, and 2, and I didn't see any blue balls from there, maybe in the 4th round.
I think I might have got it on the 4th, maybe, or one of them. So I think I did 4 or 5 rounds. I wasn't keeping count.
Okay, so Willard, you're going to be 1 and 2 in the tournament now. Your thoughts going into week number 4?
Well, I got a whole week to think about it. Getting this race out of the way is actually kind of stress relieving, because now neither of us have to even think about it until next Monday. So
At the earliest.
which is kind of what I wanted to do last week, but scheduling made it kind of hard. But going into this, the scary thing is at the same time, there are going to be some heavy hitters that are also going to end up being 1 and 2.
Yeah,
so
like you being a heavy hitter in the 0 and 2.
We've got somebody who's going to be 1 and 2 of a very big name, considering some of the names that made it to that level. What is it? I think Ben versus Andy, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. Hopefully I get lucky and don't get paired with whoever loses that one. Otherwise, I'm going to be shooting for that huge tiebreaker race at the end of the Swiss rounds.
That's
Go
all
for
mine.
tile room.
Yeah.
That one might be gambling.
Yeah. Wow. GG's. Good race.
GG's. Yep.
And Sid, you're 0 and 3, but you're not out of this just yet. Get 3 wins in a row, and you're going to be making the race off.
Yeah, that's I only hope right now. I have to face elimination the next 3 weeks, Billy.
Well, good luck to both of you guys in the upcoming races.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. This race was amazing to watch and commentate for. It was just so close at some points. You guys were, although doing different routing, you were basically exactly doing just opposites of what each other was doing. So there was really never a point where we could say somebody was clearly in the lead.
Which is really a good thing in this.
Yeah, you want a close, entertaining race. We don't want any blowouts.
We like close, entertaining races.
I'm sorry I couldn't keep it within 7 seconds like last week.
Oh man, it was really nerve-wracking when we figured that maybe the big key would be at Ice Armos for Ganon's tower, because as Willard was coming towards the Bob chest, you were basically finishing up right side. So we were like, oh my gosh, if he continues right side, this could be like, whew.
Yeah, a lot
Made us
closer.
panic a little bit.
I didn't really feel far behind. I felt like it was tight at that
Same.
point, which
Yeah.
It was very close at the end, too.
Oh yeah.
Just hoping for no tile room ever. If you lose because of tile room, it's just not even fair.
well, yeah, that person had to have made a gamble that they felt behind to do that early, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, GG's to both of you guys.
Yep.
GG's.
Yeah.
And to all the Canadian people in chat and that, I hope you had a happy Thanksgiving.
Aw,
Ooh.
thank you.
Absolutely. Happy Thanksgiving to anybody who's Canadian. And so with this, we bring to an end the 15th night of the Link to the Past Randomizer tournament, at least for the main tournament. Some secondary races going on over on the Randomizer Mania family of channels, so go ahead and check them out. Some great races going on over there. Tomorrow, we've got Killer App 23 versus TGH. That should be a good race coming up at 5 o'clock. Triple Z versus Solski at 7. I Am the Schwartz versus Parisian Player at 8 o'clock, as well as El Tigre and Zelda Disan at 8 as well. Korak versus Maximum Barnage at 8:30 p.m. All times are Eastern. So we don't know the channels for just yet, but go ahead and stay tuned to the schedule, and we'll let you know what channels those are going to be on.
Yeah, we also have Spectre Night that will be on this channel tonight. And I believe we have Super Metroid Rando going on Speed Gaming 2 and Earthbound on Speed Gaming 3. So keep an eye on those because they're bound to be entertaining as well.
All right, and Sir Ling-Salon, thank you very much for tracking for us. And for Sakura, I'm Adirondack Rick. Sakura Sanansada here, please.
Thanks everyone so much for watching, and I hope to see you next race. Bye guys!
Good night. Happy Thanksgiving.